Governor Koster says, don't sell Bali's culture. And Education Ministry encourages teachers to be innovative. Stay tuned for more. Selamat sore. Welcome to the latest news from Bali in Indonesia. This is November 27th, 2022, and my name is Bruce. And I'm doing this on Sunday today instead of Monday because I have a doctor's appointment, a hospital appointment tomorrow to check on my eye. And so I'm trying to get this done tonight. And what is the weather like? More yucky weather. Okay, it is overcast and humid, and there was a light rain today, some pretty strong winds. Right now, it is 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's 29.5 degrees Celsius. The humidity is 74%, and the wind speed is 7.5 kilometers per hour. And we've had rain here recently. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Let's take a look at the numbers before we get into the main stories. National new cases, 5,459. It's gone down, but remember, this is the weekend. National recovery, 6,360. National deaths, 41, down from the other day, which was 51. And Bali new cases, 96, so below 100. But it is the weekend, so we'll see what things are like in a couple of days. Weekly positivity rate is almost the same, 16.45, and the daily positivity rate, 15.81. Not the best news for COVID. And I got a segment coming up on polio in Bali, all the way at just about the end today, so stay tuned. This is going to be short. How many times have I said that over the last 2.5 years? Koster calls Balinese people too tolerant regarding culture. Sacred is sacred, don't sell it. Culture is a source of life values which is used to build politeness and decency in life, so said the governor. Apart from that, the governor also said that cultural characteristics in a certain sense produce works of gamelan, art, painting, sculpture, and other kinds of art. And the culture for people's economic basis must be carried forward in Bali so that people can survive on its wealth. The governor said, we don't have gold, we don't have oil, we don't have copper, we've got nothing but our culture, and so we need that in order to survive. He said, don't depend on resources outside Bali, it's dangerous. Why is it dangerous? I don't know. I'm sure there are many in Bali who don't understand that it's too easy to sell out, the governor said. They're too tolerant because they're being sold. They can tolerate being stolen. It's okay. Now, if you watched the last video, you know I talked about this in the last video when the governor was complaining about people stealing Balinese woven goods, woven patterns. Balinese people, Balinese behavior, and challenges that arise from outside Bali. There are those who want to interfere. There are also political, economic interests and other interests that enter into Bali. This is the general picture that can damage our culture in Bali, the governor said. Culture must be guarded, the governor said. He said that there are sacred dances and public dances. Public dances are offered to guests, sacred dances to the gods, the Batara. So he said they have to be distinguished properly. Segment's coming up on that in just a minute. Sacred, yes, sacred, don't sell it. Rejang is sacred. Rejang dance, as far as I know, is done in a traditional village. Every traditional village has a Rejang dance, and it's danced during the Odalan. Don't dance it everywhere. Don't dance it to greet the governor. Don't dance it to greet the president. It's wrong, he said. It's used to welcome the gods. And that is the key to the next story. Viral video of Rejang Renteng dancing by men allegedly in Bangli, including cultural harassment. Okay, so this is taken very seriously, and I think a lot of people that show up here, they have no idea about Balinese culture. They're not really interested in Balinese culture. I would say the overwhelming majority, just from what I see in videos, they're here to have a good time. It's vacation. No problem. They come here because, oh, there's some cool stuff. They can go see a dance or something. They don't really understand about the culture. Doesn't really make any difference as long as you follow and respect the rules. But this is taken very seriously by Balinese. And so this story here is interesting because I'm not quite sure why this happened. So there's this group of men who were dancing. We're doing the Rejang Renteng dance, which is only supposed to be done by women, for women, and men were doing it. And apparently it put it up on YouTube and it went viral, and somehow it got to the Bali Provincial Cultural Office, Igede Arya Sugiyartha, and he said this is cultural harassment. He said the sacred art of the Rejang dance, which was abused a lot yesterday, has already been circulated. This is an activity we must continually synergize with the community. This is just something naughty. Yesterday there was something viral in the video of the Renteng dance being danced by men who were laughing. I imagine, especially, I wonder if they were dressed up in drag. I immediately contacted the Bali police cybercrime to track down the place and find it. Later, the chief of the customary village will be summoned. And so it's apparently in Pinggang, Kintamani area, Bangli. And so they're going to be going to talk to the Bandesa Adat about this. Legal action can't be taken because there's no laws about this matter. So he said, therefore, awareness has to be carried out first. We hope that the traditional village understands that the Rejang Renteng dance has female dancers and has to be performed solely by them in order to welcome the Batari, the gods, and it's not used as a joke. This video was spread on YouTube. Cybercrime can determine its proximity. And as I mentioned in the previous video, the governor specifically brought this dance up and said, you can't be using this to welcome people, even if it is the governor and the president. This is solely for the gods. The governor said that the regeneration of Balinese culture and art goes from children to adults. There's art competitions which make it exciting, and these help the traditional art to survive. He said, I remind you that Bali does not have gold, coal, gas, and other mines. Bali only has a rich culture. Because we have this wealth, leaders in the community must work together on how to care for culture so that it continues to exist and survive through the ages from generation to generation. This whole issue about selling culture is being sold. That is, he says this, understandably, you can take this and say part of what is Balinese culture is meant purely for the sacred. Part is for public performances. And so the public performances are being sold. What the governor is saying is don't sell the sacred part as well. I'm going to talk more about the dialectic between traditional culture and modern capitalism in some future videos. But for now, let's get into education. Minister Nadiem Makarim encourages teachers to bring innovation in teaching. So the other day was National Teachers Day, and so he came and hit me up for some money to buy her teacher, who she said, I love so much, a very nice bag, apparently. And so the Minister of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology is urging teachers to continue to innovate. He said the theme for 2022 National Teachers Day, which is HGN, is simultaneously innovating to realize independent learning. And this is inspired by the enthusiasm of teachers, he said. The minister noted that through independent learning, teachers in Indonesia are now motivated to bring innovation in learning and initiate a change in the school environment. And that would be a welcome change. The minister urged teachers in Indonesia to be more passionate in the field of innovation. The independent learning program that we've been working on together for the past 3 years must become bigger, and the benefits must be felt by all students, all teachers, all schools throughout Indonesia. Our courage to innovate must be further enhanced as a provision for us to leap into the future. The minister explained that Indonesian education has entered into a new phase. Currently, independent curriculum, the new curriculum, provides a much greater flexibility for teachers so that the teachers can develop innovative, creative projects in order to have more enjoyable learning experience for students. Moreover, the ministry provides a teacher mobilization education program that prepares educators to become the next generation of learning leaders. Okay, I haven't heard about this before. There are 50,000 mobilization teachers spread throughout Indonesia that are now ready to become school principals and supervisors with a high sense of leadership and dedication. In addition, the ministry provides the independent teaching platform where more than 1.6 million teachers throughout Indonesia are connected to learn from each other and share their knowledge. Wow, there's been some big changes in the 13 years since I retired. All of these can happen because of our mutual cooperation. Thanks to teachers' courage for working and innovating, now the independent learning program can become a movement. He also confirmed, and this is great, that efforts to present learning transformation must be supported by an improvement in teachers' welfare. Yes, definitely. Through the civil servant state civil apparatus with employment agreement, hundreds of thousands of teachers who have served for years as honorary teachers will be getting better placements and welfare. The minister said the independent learning movement, which has been running for the last 3 years, must be able to bring benefits to all students, all teachers, all schools throughout Indonesia. And some more on education and literacy. Literacy finally on the reading list in Indonesia's curricula. For years, literacy has not been the center of education in Indonesia. This could change after a long-awaited new curriculum was introduced during the pandemic. When the Indonesian government first set about improving poor literacy levels in 2015, it regulated 15 minutes a day of reading for pleasure at the start of the school day. I don't know if that is done. I've got to check with my granddaughter and see tomorrow. If you are involved in Indonesian education in any way, you have children or grandchildren, or maybe you're a teacher or an administrator. I don't think I've got many that watch this channel, but if you are, does the school day start with 15 minutes of reading for pleasure? We used to do that in one of my schools. My first school in Indonesia, international school, but we had 15 minutes after lunch. This program energized schools. There were book displays, literary festivals flourished, and while awareness of the idea of literacy may have risen, the extent to which literacy learning is facilitated in the classroom generally isn't very clear yet. Though largely absent from the 2013 curriculum, the word literacy is found substantively in the simplified curriculum Merdeka introduced in 2022 after the pandemic. Well, actually, we're still in the pandemic. I'm one of those people thinking we're already post-pandemic. Literacy in the curriculum Merdeka was aimed at facilitating students' general capabilities to think and make sense of their knowledge and to foster a love of books. But the curriculum Merdeka also embeds a much more coherent theoretical framework for literacy. In the past, there's been a lack of text resources and teaching instruction, particularly when it comes to the progression of literacy learning at the primary and secondary levels. The government has also replaced what was the high-stakes national exam with a minimum competency assessment, moving away from testing content taught in school. This assessment narrowed the focus on assessing students' general skills, namely literacy and numeracy. Yes, the old national exam, what a disaster that was. The literacy test measures Indonesian student general literacy capabilities of utilizing and evaluating knowledge they learned from many school subjects in order to formulate and solve problems, thus critical thinking. This is quite a departure from the old national exam, which emphasized measuring students' mastery of school subjects or content areas or how much they can memorize. However, improving Indonesia's literacy education demands more than a piece of national curriculum regulation. More literacy resources, texts, and books, and qualified literacy teachers are required to ensure literacy learning in the Indonesian classroom is successful. Making quality book resources available to support literacy learning is a big issue that the government needs to tackle. Non-government sources, such as Room to Read and the Asia Foundation's Let's Read, provide free-to-download quality children's books published by Indonesian nonprofit publishers like the Litara Foundation. But greater effort could be directed towards improving qualified Indonesian literacy teachers. This is challenging because literacy learning in the curriculum Merdeka emphasizes nurturing general capabilities, and a love of books. For this to happen, this demands that teachers need to meet such qualifications. Literacy teachers should be comfortable engaging students with books and reading skills and discussing difficult topics raised in the book. For example, this is an interesting one. Amid a classroom book discussion about a girl who rescued her kidnapped brother, one boy questioned an issue of equal pay based on gender. The story triggered his response regarding whether or not a capable girl should receive an equal salary. The boy's response appeared to come from his home background, where his mother was a full-time housewife and his father was the dominant figure. This type of teachable moment allows students to share their points of view with teachers, guiding them to think critically about gender equality and equity. In many Indonesian classrooms, this opportunity can be easily ignored in class, but in a true literacy classroom, a difficult topic like this should be the norm to discuss. So that's exciting. I have to talk to my granddaughter about this, but she was telling me the other day she was sitting reading some books, and I was pretty impressed. My children, as a rule, are not big book people, and well, you can see I am. So nice if my granddaughter follows up on that. And let's take a look at the health system. You know, I'm intimately involved in the health system right now, so anything to do with the government health system really interests me. Indonesian government pushes domestic health system towards prevention screening, health minister. So the health minister, Pak Budi, said that the Indonesian government currently is pushing domestic health system towards disease prevention and screening rather than medication. The government is encouraging Healthcare and Social Security Agency, BPJS, which is what I'm using, and health insurance agencies to start allocating funding more towards health prevention and promotion. The health minister said there's currently 14 screenings that are available by BPJS. I didn't know that. Earlier, there was only things for medication. The health ministry recorded that average spending for Indonesians' health stood at $112 per capita per year, with an average life expectancy of 72 years. Well, that's kind of surprising. I thought Indonesia's was actually lower. This figure is lower compared to other Asian countries such as Malaysia, where the average spending for health is US $431 per capita per year, with an average life expectancy of 76 years. Japan, $4,800 a year, with a life expectancy of 84 years, and Singapore, $2,800 US dollars a year for health, and an average life expectancy of 80 years. So Indonesia is at the bottom of that list. U.S. average health spending, $10,000 per year with an average life expectancy of 79 years. Not even going to go into that one right now. And the minister said spending is going to rise as we get an aging population here. The minister said both Singapore and Japan can become more efficient as compared to Indonesia because they implement the prevention system. Meanwhile, he said Indonesians only medicate themselves if they feel sick. Hello, that's me. The health minister is encouraging CEOs to start promoting health business-oriented screenings. And he said, start from simple screenings such as for cholesterol, blood sugar, hypertension, and then move on to genome sequencing. Promotional and preventive spending will become the trend for every government, he said. And so that's good news. Keep screening yourself. If you haven't had a checkup recently, get one. You might be surprised at what you find. And more on health. Provincial Health Office Bali claims zero polio. You know, the other day I was talking about polio case was found in Aceh. Well, this is Bali's response. Polio immunization coverage in Bali is among the highest in Indonesia, reaching 98%. Surveillance of acute flaccid paralysis in Bali also did not find any withering caused by polio virus. With that, the Bali Provincial Health Office declared Bali to be a polio green zone. The head of the Bali Provincial Health Office, Dr. E. Nyomengede Anom, I've talked about him many times, revealed that based on population, Bali is targeted to find 20 cases of wilting paralysis, and these affect children under the age of 15. However, he said, Bali is still in the green zone, and no polio was found during the surveillance. He explained that after combing 9 regencies and cities here in Bali, the surveillance team found 39 cases of withered paralysis. But after laboratory tests were undertaken, none of the cases were found to be caused by polio. He said that withered paralysis can also be caused by chronic malnutrition and can lead to chikungunya disease. After these cases were found, they were treated and successfully cured. So Dr. Anam said, even though there are no findings of polio cases in Bali, the community is reminded to avoid polio transmission by maintaining a clean lifestyle. Bathing, washing, toilets must be common concern. Also, parents should not underestimate the importance of polio immunization for the health of their children. Low vaccination coverage can increase the risk of spreading the polio virus, which can cause permanent paralysis. That is it for today. I don't know. Since I've had my cataract surgery, I've been really, really tired. I don't know if it's from the medication I'm taking. I've got a bunch of eye drop thingies here, but I've been really tired lately. Anyway, there is a new cooking video on Sue's channel and egg curry, and that's a pretty good one. And we're back making cooking videos again now that, well, we're more or less all healthy. And there is a new Singaraja snippets of walking around the area up by the university by Jalan Udayana and Dewi Sartika. And it's a continuation of a video that I did and posted, I don't know, a couple of months ago, I guess, or maybe a month ago. And there will be one more part to it. And then there's some more videos that I'm working on in other parts of the city that I got before I got the eye surgery. And so all that's coming up. So Sue's video up here. And then if you want to see the Singaraja snippets, it's up there. Thanks for viewing. Be kind to someone today. Stay safe. I will see you on Thursday.